So I've got the dogs here again, and we went for another walk. And of course, leave it to the cat. Cat always wants to push. She was laying in her bed, and I told her, to be cool. But I think she wants her food, because I keep her food over there. And she's like, look, if you're going to be bringing these dogs around all day, or, a couple times in a row, I ain't waiting for my dinner. When you get home, you feed me. So she's just like, definitely pushing the pace. She's being a little instigator, and Lily, Hank over here, he don't care. But Lily, she definitely has a little bit of a prey drive thing going on with her. So I'm using, you can see my position of my body in relation to them. If Lily was to decide to get up or something and lunge at the cat, I would be, able to give her a hug, so she didn't get to the cat. But I just think that's funny. The cat, is pretty brave, or pretty trusting, and she walked, right by, and then sat there and was looking at the dogs. And I started paying real close attention and was ready to intervene at like a millisecond's notice, but at the same time, I wanted to let that situation unfold so that, they could learn from it. Like Lily could feel that energy from the cat. Like, oh, this cat is like, being a little bit in our space over here. What's up with that? And I wanted Lily to be like, understanding, like that's fine. If the cat wants to come over here, it doesn't mean that Lily has to react, So that's kind of what I keep coming back to when I make these videos, because the goal of these videos isn't to for me to become famous on YouTube, right? I don't care, dude. And there's actually reasons why I actually don't want that. But the reason why I make these videos is because I understand how if you make a slight shift in your state of mind sometimes, you can really actually help your dog in a really, really sincere way that works. And that's why I make these videos, is to empower you so that you can watch this stuff and be like, oh, okay, I see, some of the, look, I'm into cars, right? And I, will try and fix my own cars to save a couple bucks, and I like learning. But a lot of times when I'm watching the YouTube videos, I know that these guys are so much more knowledgeable than me that they're skipping stuff that they think is common knowledge, but I might not know. So when I go ahead and I make videos, I try and keep that in mind. Okay, look, it's one thing for me to show you, A to B and look at how it works, but there's always going to be nuanced stuff and subtle little things that if we were together in person, I would be able to convey. And I want to capture as much of that in videos as possible, so that if you are committed to your dog and you do want to make these changes and help your dog actually learn, that by watching my videos, you'll actually see some of the grit, some of the gritty parts, behind the scenes footage, so to speak. So you can see all I'm doing here right now as I'm talking into this video is I'm monitoring Lily, because you can see the cat's wanting to come around this way. So now what the cat wants to do is climb up onto the shelf. And she's being a little antsy because, we just got back from a walk, okay? So the dogs are tired. The dogs are content. The cat, on the other hand, has been in the house the whole time, basically waiting for somebody to come home. So she's in a totally different state of mind. She's bored right now. She's not content. She wants her food bowl, or she wants to look out the window and, pretend like she's going to go chase some birds. But you can see I'm like giving all of these animals here a degree of freedom so that they can learn. If I was to be like real paranoid right now and super locked down, like, oh no, the cat, oh, what if Lily eats the cat? Or, oh no, oh no, oh no. First of all, the dogs wouldn't learn anything. And second of all, they would feel that energy from me, and it would make them more curious about the cat. So look, I'm all about safety and using, like the old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Meaning if you take some thought in the beginning and plan stuff out a little bit, you can actually save yourself a lot of headaches and actually set yourself up to succeed better. And so look, I'm all about keeping things safe. I don't want my cat to get eaten up by a dog, because I got to pay the vet bill for that. And I don't want the dogs getting prey drive from wanting to chase a cat, even when the cat's being a little annoying. So we're using this as a situation where we can train the dogs and, give the cat some freedom to feel not imposed. Because this is her house too. I want her to feel respected. I don't want my cat to just feel like at any given moment I can bring in random dogs and totally displace her from her comfort of her home. I expect her to cooperate with us, but at the same time, I want her to be comfortable and feel like, she's safe in her home. So that's why we take the time to do this kind of stuff. You kind of got to act on things as they come up. So, I wasn't planning for my cat to walk across the room and start wanting to jump on the counter. But, that's what's kind of going on. And so that's what we're doing. I'm so proud of these dogs. And Lottie Dottie the cat too. But when I express my pride of feeling really proud of these dogs, I always need to do it in a way that maintains calmness for the dogs. The best thing I could do is not fulfill my own sense of wanting to get that stimulation of having the dogs be happy and oh, they love it, or whatever. The best thing I could do is to make sure that they enjoy that feeling without being excited about it. So you can see they're happy, but they're calm. And that's how I can have confidence in letting a situation like this unfold. Like, I don't know, the cat might decide she wants to jump down at any given second and land like right there and meow real loud and then run over right in front of them. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But the way that I feel confident in this situation is because I know that the dogs are staying calm. If the dogs were sitting over here all amped up and whining and squeaking and squirming and looking at the cat, and I was having to be like, no, stay, ignore the cat, like all that kind of stuff, then I would have like no confidence. I would know like, yeah, if the cat jumped down, they'll probably chase it. So look, as I've said it before, when you're trying to create behavior with your dog, do yourself the favor of not worrying so much about the behavior in that moment, and worry about, or not worry, but create the dog's state of mind. So like the behavior I want is for these three animals to be able to coexist without, being in danger of one another. I don't want my cat to claw the dogs, and I don't want the dogs to bite the cat. And the way that I create that is not by worrying about the potential of how it could happen and then being all nervous. The way that I create it is by making sure that I'm putting them all in a situation where they can do it. Meaning, as long as these dogs stay calm, there won't be any drama, even if the cat decided to land right there and then run across Lily's front paws. Lily might get startled, but she's not going to immediately do something, violent. So I'm, paying attention to the cat, and I'm just kind of giving myself a little heads up in case she does decide to want to do that, but I don't think she will. I think she's got a little bit more sense of self-preservation than to do that right now. So yeah, she's just going to sit here and look out the window. And, I'm going to finish up. I was sewing up the dog's collar. I was adjusting the collar so it fit better. I'm going to finish doing that. And then we're going to go back outside. And the whole time, I'm going to be paying attention to what's going on. And if I needed to, let's say, go into the bathroom or go and really, not pay attention to them right now, I would actually just take the cat, pick her up, and just calmly walk over and put her back on her bed and tell her to stay there. And that way I don't have to worry about something happening, because it's not like I trust the dogs to not do something. This is a topic that I was actually talking about with someone, and I'll address it here. They says, well, I don't trust my dog enough to take it to the park. And I says, I don't trust your dog enough to take it to the park either. I trust myself enough to take your dog to the park. And that's what I need to convey to the owners of dogs that are having issues. Don't wait around to trust your dog. You have to cultivate that sense of trust within you and share it with your dog. Yeah, you notice also that they don't have their leashes on right now. I was actually adjusting their leash. I wanted to sew. See how I sewed this? This leather tag was moving a little bit, so I wanted to sew it to keep it in place. So I had taken this is their double leash. I had taken it off of them. So this whole time with the cat, they actually weren't even on the leash. And that's why I said in the other video, I wouldn't have them this close to my cat if I needed to be able to control them that much. This is being done with energy. And that's why if you read my book, you'll see how we start off real slow, because when you're learning how to relate with your dog in a new way, you're going to need to learn how this energy feels and slowly develop the confidence to share it with your dog in a way that they can actually take you seriously. So I'm communicating with these dogs through my energy. Same thing when we're walking down the road. The leash is for their safety. The leash is not so they can follow me. They follow me because I'm my energy. Or it's not because I drag them along and, make them stay right next to me by yanking on them. I do that with my energy. The leash is secondary tool that's there for safety because of their familiarity. In the beginning, the leash is more of a communication tool. But like I said, as you progress and as you really form the real healthy relationship with your dog. See, I notice how Lily's looking, and I just keep my eye on Lily until she shifts her mind away. So she's looking at the cat, and I'm looking at her. And I'm not trying to impose anything on her. See, now I tell my cat that she needs to be chill. She can't just stare at these dogs and start meowing in their face. That's not cool. Good boy, Hank. I love you so much, buddy. I love you so much, Hank. You're my buddy. I love you. But you see how I'm getting that soft eye from him? That's what I want. I want to be able to say, good boy, Hank, I love you so much. You're my buddy. And get that reaction from him. And, you know, Lily's like, I like your rug. I'd lay on it if it was up to me. But I'm like, it's okay, sweetheart. So you can see, when you have your dogs in a state of mind like this, then you can trust them. Getting back to what I was saying. It's like, I trust myself in this situation to be aware, attentive, able to respond, and willing to respond. That's what I trust. I don't trust that they have the inherent self-control, whereas if I was to go into the bathroom and turn on the shower and get a shower, to leave this here like this, I would not do that. And that's what I'm saying. This isn't because I trust the cat, the dog, or her. I actually would trust Hank. He wouldn't do anything. But Lily, you know, for her own well-being, I would make sure the cat was contained, or I maybe would put Lily in the other room and shut the door if I was going to go get a shower. You see what I mean? It's all relative. So she's looking, and I want this. I want Lily to look at the cat. I don't want her to feel like she can't look at the cat because it's off limits. I want her to learn about the cat. Be like, the cat's there. There it is. So I'll let Lily rest in this state of mind. See, now she disengages on her own. If she had escalated it, like for instance, if she had been staring at the cat and then all of a sudden sat up and continued to stare at the cat, I would say, hey, what are you doing? Why don't you lay back down? And it wouldn't be so that I could control her body. It would be so that I could dial that state of mind back. Because the state of mind that she's in right now, wow, they're like on the rugs. You guys are goofballs. But because they're being so good, I don't care. Because that's my whole point, is pay attention to what your dog is feeling and what their thoughts are. And that's where the real training happens, because then you're only just touching the fine-tuning elements, and you're not making your dog stressed out and nervous by trying to control every little thing. Like if I was all like making sure their leashes were tied super tight to the doorknob, and you know, being like, make sure you stay right there, and blah, blah, like they would be feeling that energy, and they'd be like, obviously something's going on and we need to be even more aware now. So, hope that all makes sense. I want you to enjoy your animal. I want you to enjoy your dog. Enjoy your cat. You know, make your household be a peaceful place where all the animals share each other's use of that space in a healthy way. It's totally possible, even if it might not seem like it. Like, technically this dog has prey drive, and she's, not good with other animals, according to some people. Not according to me. So, alright, hope that was helpful. And, enjoy your dog. Tell your dog I said hi. Alright.